In today's video, we are going to talk about the Duolingo English Test. I'm Sally and welcome to my channel. I have made one video about the Duolingo English Test writing prompt, and I'll link that video here in case you're interested in it. In that video, I focused on responding to a prompt in 50 words or more. So I've been getting more questions about the writing sections, and so in this video today I thought that first I would go over the types of writing prompt on the Duolingo English Test, and then I want to focus in on that prompt that serves as a writing sample that goes to the university that you're applying to. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a couple of sample prompts. What I've been discovering as I've been researching Duolingo is that I am encountering the same prompts over and over again. So I'm not really getting a good variety of prompts to work with. So if you guys have a prompt that you come across, either in a practice test or from taking the real test, if you want to, you can add that prompt to the comments, and maybe we can compile a good list of prompts for all of you to practice with. If you each share your prompts, it'll create a nice database for you guys to find practice prompts. All right, let's get on with this video. In the literature about the Duolingo English Test, Duolingo explains that on this test, there are 4 writing prompts. 3 are described as picture description tasks. 1 is described as an independent task with a written prompt. In addition, there is also 1 writing sample, and that is sent to universities. Here is an example of a picture description task. Your goal for this type of question is to describe the picture in 1 or more sentences. Now, I will make a video in which we do some practice on this type of question, but for now, let's move on. Here is an example of an independent task with written prompt. There's also a version of this for speaking. I've talked about this type of prompt once before. If you have more questions about it, I can make another video with more practice. But for now, I want to focus on the other type of written response. When you get to this slide, this is telling you to prepare for an interview and writing sample. These are the samples that are sent to the universities that you're applying to. These are actually not scored. But this does not mean that they're not important. They're very important because it gives the university another chance to hear you speak or to read a sample of your writing. Since the focus for today is writing, let's take a look at the type of prompt you'll receive. You'll only be given 30 seconds to quickly choose between 2 prompts. So read through them quickly and make a decision as fast as you can. If you do not choose within 30 seconds, one of the prompts will be chosen for you. Someone asked me, what do you do if you get the prompts and neither of the prompts stands out to you? What happens if you do not have a response for either of the questions being asked? Well, my advice is to remember that you are not being evaluated based on accuracy of your information. Many of these questions are going to ask you to describe something, to remember something, or talk about an experience, or to make an argument. You are not being scored. This is not a scored portion of the test, and the person listening to this response or reading this response is not going to check your facts. They want to hear if you can make an argument, if you can describe something, if you can recount an experience, and do it in a logical way. So it's more about how you say it, how you write it, rather than what facts you're giving in your response. So keep that in mind and just Imagine that you are the expert, you are explaining your idea, and you are the best person at explaining your own ideas. So as long as you can do it clearly, then it doesn't matter if your facts are inaccurate or if you're not very familiar with the topic. Pretend like you are and go with it. So once you've made your selection, you are taken to this screen. From here, you begin to write. It says write for 3 to 5 minutes about the topic below. Now, in other English tests, for example, the IELTS essay, you have time to prepare a well-structured essay. This tells you to write for 3 to 5 minutes about the topic. This is sort of a free write. You really don't have time to truly structure an essay, truly come up with your thesis statement, your topic sentences, your examples. You have to change the way you think about this. Your goal now is to quickly decide what you're going to say, and you're going to focus on saying it as quickly as possible. So you have 3 to 5 minutes to write. What's going to be the most important is going to be your content. What are you saying? And can you say it in a way that is organized? Yes, they do care about organization, but they're not expecting a perfectly well-written essay. They want you to make your statement, which is going to be your topic sentence or you can think of it as your statement of purpose. Follow through with that and explain your ideas as clearly as you can. I always say that to make your topic sentence or your thesis statement, when you have a prompt to answer, you should restate that prompt. And a good example for this would be it asks for your opinion, so you might say, in my opinion, a foreign language requirement in schools is a good thing because, and then you want to come up with 2 or 3 reasons why you think it's a good thing. Base it on how much you think you can get through. If you think you can have 3 points to make and get through it quickly in 5 minutes or less, go for it. If you cannot, make 1 point, but make it a good point. Now, you're going to only be able to write as much as you can write. Length is important, but it's not the most important. When someone reads your essay, they're really going to be looking for that content and your ability to clearly explain your ideas. Then they're going to be looking at your grammar. Grammar is not as important as you think it is, but it's important to the extent that your mistakes are not overly distracting. So when someone reads this essay, it's from the university, and they're reading it just to see if they feel that you have the ability to perform as a student at their school. So you don't want your grammar mistakes to be distracting. So try to write as clearly as you can. And, you want to write as much as you can, but don't sacrifice quality for quantity. You want to do what you can do well. We are going to do 2 practice prompts. For each prompt, you can allow yourselves 3 to 5 minutes. The video will only stop for 10 seconds. Now, I want to say, when I go over my answers to these, it may be very different from your answer, and that's okay. I'm just showing you what I came up with when I timed myself. I only allowed myself 3 minutes to answer each prompt. And I did this because I wanted it to be as realistic as possible. I didn't want to sit down and compose a perfect essay just for an illustration. This is my free write of 3 minutes. All right, prompt number 1. All right, let's take a look at my answer. So the first thing that I did is I rewrote the question as a statement to make my topic sentence. So the question asks, which season appeals to you most? I kept the wording the same and put, the season that appeals to me most is fall. Now, I don't think that 3 to 5 minutes is enough time to construct a really good essay, so I did this activity as a free write. I wanted to try to make sure that I organized my thoughts. I focused on answering the follow-up question, what do you enjoy about your favorite season? Kept the wording the same and added I enjoy the drop in temperature and the vibrant colors of the leaves. So I maintained the same language as much as possible. And then I started using transitions and I allowed my thoughts to wander a little bit. And though all my thoughts did wander, all of the things that I listed here are things that I enjoy about fall. Halloween was an example of one of the holidays, and I said I liked the fall because it's the start of the holiday season. But to remain true to the topic, I said what I enjoy about Halloween, which is in turn what I enjoy about the fall. And then I added more that I enjoy about the fall. At the end, I followed up with a restatement. The season that I love most is fall. So I've reworded, I didn't say appeals again. I changed it to love. And I did try to use some low frequency words. So I used vibrant, I used camaraderie, I used cozy. And really, at the end of this, you want to go back and make sure that you've left enough time to reread your answer. When you're free writing like this, it's very easy when you're stopping to think to perhaps type the same word twice or make some very simple grammar mistakes. I didn't take a lot of time to go back and check mine. I just wrote and let that be. So again, don't take this as an example of a perfect response. It's just my attempt at a realistic response. I did write this in 3 minutes, so it is what it is. It's an example. All right, let's try another prompt. Pause the video for 3 to 5 minutes and write your own answer. All right, let's take a look at my answer. Again, I rewrote the prompt to include my own answer for a topic sentence. The prompt is a statement. Describe a topic, idea, or concept that you find so engaging that it makes you lose track of time. My topic sentence is a topic that I find so engaging that I can lose track of time is the environment. Now, do you remember earlier when I said that nobody is judging you on accuracy or truth? To be honest with you, in 30 seconds, I could not think of a topic that I find so engaging that I can lose track of time. So I wrote about the very first thing that popped into my mind, and that was the environment. It is not necessarily true that this topic is so engaging of my time, but it's what I came up with, and so I went with it, and here's what I wrote. The first question asks, why does it captivate you? So I kept the wording the same. This topic captivates me because. And then the other question asks, what or who do you turn to when you want to learn more? Again, I kept the wording the same and I said, when I want to learn more about this topic, I usually turn to YouTube. And then I gave an explanation about YouTube. I spoke about the different organizations that provide information. These organizations were in my mind because I just finished teaching a lesson about the environment and we watched videos from these organizations. But I also included everyday people. I added some detail about why this topic would be important to me. And then I restated my topic sentence. I can easily lose time while researching the environment, and for me that is a wonderful way to spend my time. The uncommon words that came naturally to me in this topic were the words like humanity, conservation, carbon footprint. Try to leave yourself time at the end of the video to go back and reread. Maybe during your rereading is when you will think of synonyms. Just focus on getting what you want out there on your form and then go back and check. Make sure you leave a little bit of time, at least 40 seconds, I would say, 45, to go back and check what you've written. And you should go back and check. If you notice, I made a mistake. Can you find it? Well, this has been an example of how I would respond to a prompt. And the goal of this question type is to give a spontaneous answer in a clear way. You don't have to be perfect. You need to be organized and clear. All right, I hope this video has been helpful. It's my goal to try to help you guys as best I can. So if you learn new information about this test from taking the test or from your practice tests, share it with me. I'm happy to try to analyze the questions that you are asked and figure out other questions that might be asked. I think we're kind of in this together. I want to help you guys. I want international students to come to the United States. I want you to be successful. So let's help each other as much as we can. All right. Thank you for watching.